Hello, so excited for you to join me today on this quick how-to video. So if we have not met, my name is Sybil, but I will talk a little bit about more of my background shortly. Today, I want to focus on specifically this skill set, and it's for creative entrepreneurs, service providers, my elite coaches and consultants, experts in spaces where you are trying to grow your social media. You are trying to grow your messaging. You want your brand to be heard around the world. So if this is you, then this course is for you today. And this is a part of my full cohort experience, Bold Woman Brand, but I think so important that we start at the beginning. So many times, marketers, brand specialists, advertising strategists, they will just want to leap in and start tweaking things and editing things. And so I really wanted to come to you with this from a place of empowerment to say, like, you can do all of these things, and doing a comprehensive brand audit is a great place to start to figure out what your brand is doing, what gaps you might have, and how you can close them quickly so that you can continue to do more of what you love. I've recreated this guide, this how-to guide, specifically to help you audit your message on LinkedIn in the next 14 days. And so we're going to go through it step by step. I've got some links for additional resources embedded in the document as well. And you can do this, like I said, all your own. Not everyone is going to use this booking link to work directly with me, and I get it. Some of us want to do self-paced. We want to do things a little slower, but the Work with Sybil link is available for you to learn more about how I can partner directly with you to get some of these proven results that I'm going to talk about right now. So one of my clients, for example, Nicole, she came to me and we did a really good comprehensive strategy session. And what we realized is, out of the 80,000 some odd followers that she has, there was a core group of people who consistently wanted to hear more from her. And so what we were able to do after only one strategy session was help her build brand authority in an industry she already loves, one that she's already familiar with, and it did not take long for her to get positioned for success within 30 days. So these tips that I'm about to share with you do work. And again, this is practical advice. This is not theory or untested. These are things that the women who I've partnered with have been able to see direct results from, and it's very specific. So go step by step. Do not skip any of the processes. The next person that I want to share with you, another lady who saw immediate success, was for her webinar launch. So while this process is specifically tailored to how to do this in 14 days on your LinkedIn, please know that these exact same processes can be applied across all areas of your brand while you're building your message, while you're building your book of business. So in this case, she was able to get ready for her product launch her very first product, and again, had 8,000 followers on LinkedIn, probably 15 or 20,000 loyal fans across all of her social platforms. And so we had to get a really good strategy for her to not only get clear about what she was marketing and messaging, but also the offer suite that she was going to do. And so we settled on a webinar that would then drive people toward a course for them to get some more experiences from the transformation that she gives her clients. Another example of this messaging in action is my client here, Salima. And one of the things that was really important for her was first impressions. She is just starting out on her brand building, and she wanted her first impression to be her lasting impression. And so we looked at what that was going to look like for her once she pivots out of corporate. So again, these tactics and tools that I'm going to share with you throughout this video are really great, specific to LinkedIn, but they can work universally across the board. And it's a really good habit to get into of auditing our brand and our message anyway, right? As we evolve, as our skill set increases, we want to make sure that we are messaging that highest value skill set. The last person that I want to look at is my dear Crystal, and she and I work together because she works in a very sensitive topic. She talks about sobriety and the research of sober living, and that can be a challenging message to share with the global masses. And so when we partnered together, it really was about helping her figure out how to hone what she already had working and what methods she could use to get this message in front of people who needed it the most. And again, she's also a paid professional speaker, much like myself. She wanted to make sure that that message also resonated with her audiences as well, especially when she got ready to start pitching. So, like I said, LinkedIn tactics in 14 days, but please know that everything we're going to cover in this session should be applied across all of the other media that you're using while you're marketing and advertising and building your brand. Now, these are just a few clients that were able to take some really bold steps toward positioning their personal brand and their business. And they are confident in what they are doing and how they are messaging it after doing these things. They've been able to unlock new growth opportunities for their brand and business, and I want those same results for you. Now, this brand audit and guide are designed to show you the exact steps so that you can do the same. Now, a little bit about me, I've been doing this brand building work for about a decade. I've worked with billion-dollar businesses. I've helped grow startup tech companies from 10-person organizations to multi-thousand person organizations. I've worked with C-suites across Fortune 500s. I've worked with high-level executives who are either still in corporate or transitioning out. So this process works. And what I've ended up doing is refining it specifically for female founders and service-based businesses. And why was that important? Because selling products is different from selling yourselves. Personal branding is different from branding a widget or e-commerce. And I don't see very many people fine-tuning and helping this very niche community in the way that I do, having that full service experience, that comprehensive guidance for them to make sure that when they are going out in the market with their truest voice, that it is heard and received for the market that they are trying to attract. So I've also done this with my brand and help other women do it the same. And I've even partnered with a few high-performing entrepreneurs and influencers who decidedly wanted to be influential. So now I'm sharing the behind the scenes of the work that I do with you here. Because if you're like me, then you're ready to take your brand to the next level. Maybe you've been holding back and you're frustrated by the feeling that you're not living up to your true potential, that the brand that you have is good enough, but you know it can be elevated. You know you're capable of more and you want to build a magnetic brand. Maybe you've got a nagging dull every time you get ready to post that somebody is not going to appreciate your message. Maybe it's not landing the way you want. Maybe it's not attracting the clientele that you're really seeking to work with. So if that's what you're looking for and you're looking for clarity and confidence in your branding, you've come to the right place because you're ready to achieve success. You're ready to own your awesome and take your business to the next level. Maybe you've got a sense of where you want to go, but you feel like you're treading water, like you're uncertain about what next. There are some things that you realize are working and some things you realize are not working. What you need is a little direction and maybe some soft transitions to help propel your business and give it the momentum you know you want it to have. Or perhaps you're pivoting into new markets and you're trying to figure out what that's going to look like and you need to do some market testing. Well, if that's the case, this is a great process for you as well. If you are excited about the possibilities that your brand can do and the people you can serve, then I get it. It might come with some change management anxiety. You wonder, will your message translate? Will you connect with those new audiences? Will you ruin your reputation? I want to let you know, put you at ease, that this process is designed to make sure that you don't lose traction, you don't lose the people who you're connected to, and you will position yourselves as the authority for that next market that you know you're supposed to be in. Maybe you're restless, right? We all been there. You're getting a little restless. You know you want to do more. You're trying to build your legacy brand. You've been doing what you've been doing for a while, and you realize that this is the last great push for what you really want to be known for. And this can happen a lot, especially with my women who have been in business 15 or 20 years. You've been on global stages, you've spoken all over the place, and now you want to really fine tune and separate yourself from the business versus the thing that you're known for. This is a perfect process for you to go as well. The bottom line is this: if you're looking for quick results, time-tested processes, and proven ways to get clear, be authentic and powerful in your messaging so that you attract your high-quality clients, the high-value clients who know what you do well and are going to compensate you appropriately, this is where you want to be. I want to go over a couple of market trends and the reason for why personal branding is now more important than ever. We are at a place where living brands are dominating the world. We've seen the rise of social influencers, and a lot of well-known voices are even starting to get lost in the sea of noise. All it takes is a camera and some good lighting and an audio, and anybody can do what you're doing, except for they can't, right? Here's the thing: audiences crave transparency. Authentic connection is overrated, especially if your brand is overworked. So, if you're on social media, if you're doing tweets or TikToks or whatever that is, people want to know that they can trust you. And the people who they trust are the ones who are able to share personal insights and connect to what they need, okay? Rather than carefully curated personas. Yes, you should have a persona, but it should not be so curated that people don't believe who you are. Second, video content is high right now. People want to know that they see you. This is the new form of advertising. So if you've not figured out how to flip on the camera, stay tuned. During the 14-day content challenge, that is going to be one of the things you're required to do. Comfort in front of the camera comes with time, and your ability to have live content interwoven into your LinkedIn profile is going to set you apart from the rest. The last thing that I want to share with you is that people are no longer building brands just for visibility. They are positioning themselves as thought leaders, speakers, and really separating themselves from everyone else in the industry and/or creating new industries. Clients are spending more time with educational content, and so you need to figure out a way to have some high-value things that are going to leave a lasting impact and give many transformations every single time someone interacts with you. In short, your ability to build this powerful personal brand, one that attracts your ideal audiences, should not be left to chance, okay? Faux branding tactics and marketing smoke and mirrors are no longer going to work. People are seeing through it. But you see, the sad reality is for a lot of female founders, we don't have a process to understand what our brand is doing right now anyway. And so while things might be working, we don't understand why. We don't know what to do next because there are big name gurus that say we should do this or that. And so I want to demystify the entire process for us today. I'm dedicated to solving this problem, again, specifically for my female founders who are in service-based businesses, because ultimately our brand is our word. And that means we have to show up and be correct every single time we interact with our audiences, be that face-to-face or virtually. So what's the right way to go about brand building? Let's dive in. How can you build authority in your industry with the least amount of time and resistance and time spent developing and creating content? That's what we're going to talk about today. So here are the 5 steps that you're going to use to make sure that in the next 14 days, you have figured out your new LinkedIn content strategy, and it should bring some ease to you. It should be so easy for you to do, sort of like a caveman could do it. Step 1, review who you are following, okay? Curate your feed for who you want to see and what you don't want to see. What is LinkedIn recommending for you? Step 2, review your most popular posts. Now, there are tools that I'm going to talk about using, and there's some ChatGPT prompts that I love using while I am carefully curating my content. Step 3, I want to invite you to do that 14-day content challenge. And again, there's a hyperlink inside this document and a posting hack that you should know about right now: commenting 30 minutes before on your favorite influencers or potential partners or potential clients, then posting, then commenting 10 or 15 minutes after will help boost your engagement. The LinkedIn algorithm loves seeing you on there longer than the 10 seconds that it takes for you to schedule a post. Step 4, use the 741 process, and I'll talk about what that is. That's one of my signature processes. And step 5, make sure to make your process evergreen. Again, we want to work smarter, not harder here. This is also the time to optimize your LinkedIn. Now, before we jump in a little bit more for the skeptics in the room, here's a little bit more about me. I am a former HR executive turned brand architect. My track record includes getting women on the TEDx stage, and actually one of my speakers got over 100,000 views on her TEDx, which is fabulous. I am also a paid keynote speaker, a LinkedIn voice, top voice, and I've partnered with social influencers on moving beyond influencer to influential. Now that's just the highlights. But here's the deal. I use this exact system to get my brand and voice where it is today, like getting paid to speak within 90 days of exiting corporate, like getting that LinkedIn Top Voice badge, like making sure that I've spoken on global stages. In total, my clients have earned millions of dollars in income that they would have been leaving on the table, but for the fact that they followed these processes. The average raise for my corporate women was about $25,000 on the front end. That does not include bonuses and other things, which puts them closer to about $40,000 in annual increase. And then my speakers typically get paid to speak within 90 days of partnering with me. And so many more successes that really come from being intentional with boldly branding your voice. So let's dive in. Step 1, I want you to curate your feed because LinkedIn is going to push information based off of what it thinks you want to see. It is directly shaping your brand, which means everything that's being fed to you are things you're going to have opportunities to comment on. And so if you don't see anything to comment on, then that means your voice is not getting out there. You're not connected to the right people. And so I want you to go back through and look at your LinkedIn mini feed right now. Look at the top 10 things that come up in your mini feed. Are there things you would gladly post on? Are there things you can add value to? Or are there people that you are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm following this. Why don't I disconnect? This is your time to do it. Be really intentional about what's in your mini feed because ultimately that's the type of energy and type of posts that are going to be coupled with the posts that your posts are about, right? This is telling the algorithm that this is how I prioritize information. It thinks that you're going to engage with it. So if you're following accounts that don't align with your brand, don't align with your brand values or who you are, then you want to get rid of it, okay? The goal is to engage with accounts that are aligned with your goals so that you boost your visibility while supporting other people. The second reason why you want to hit that unfollow button is that it helps shape your brand identity. Who you follow says a lot about your brand. Are you following influencers and brands that don't align with your messaging? If so, you're sending your audience a mixed message. Your network is watching, and by being intentional about your followers, you also demonstrate where your priorities are and who's influencing how you show up in the world. So here's some concrete ways that you can start tweaking your feed. Of course, like I said, look at your followers. Who are you following? Who do you like? Who are you connected with? Are they aligned with your brand's core message? If not, it's time to hit that unfollow button. And then ask yourself, do they reflect where you want your brand to go? Do they align with your brand pillars and your core values? Second, look at your brand core values. Now, if you have not developed brand pillars, I want to invite you to do some time with me, to some partnership with me, so that way we can figure out what those are, because those are going to help you with the next stage of developing your content. If you've already got brand pillars, perfect. You are already set to do the 14-day brand content challenge. But I want you to ask yourself, does this person reflect your brand pillars? Will following them help you stay current or add value to your message? Are they a potential partner, referral, or client? Third, think about how your backstory connects to what everything else is going on your LinkedIn profile. It's crucial to your messaging, and following people or brands that resonate with your backstory are going to show how your journey has evolved from where you were to where you are today. For example, If you've pivoted from corporate to entrepreneurship like me, consider following others who have had a similar path. You have some overlapping clients and some overlapping experiences for you to have some shared content. Ask yourself, does this person connect with my personal brand story? Is this someone I'm comfortable with knowing that part of me or not? Will they help me communicate my brand journey more effectively? One of the best ways to build relationships with potential clients is by following them. And so the more you engage with their content, the more value you'll be able to add to them. Ask yourself, are the people that I'm following potential clients? Could they be? Are they in industry or spaces where they might be ideal for me to partner with them in future or how I am looking to serve? If not, this is your opportunity to edit your LinkedIn. And see, we've not even optimized your profile yet. This is literally about taking what's already existing and figuring out, is it already working? Okay, you want to start doing some market matches immediately before you start posting content. Some last minute questions to ask yourself to make this a strategic process is, do these connections align with my brand pillars? Am I following people who inspire me and the work that I do, or are they just noise in my feed? Do these connections create value in the form of knowledge, networking, or opportunities? And am I building a community that I see myself engaging with long term? The second thing that you want to do is analyze your best posts, okay? Now, when it comes to fine tuning your brand's messaging and engagement, one of the most powerful tools is already right in front of you. It is the post that you have already created. And if you are not regularly posting, I want to invite you to think that it might be time to post 3 to 4 times a week. Okay. There are some influencers and some experts who say you've got to post every day, twice a day. That is not me. I post daily, Monday through Friday, and then rarely on a Saturday or Sunday, depending on what's going on. But that is my posting schedule. Posting 3 to 4 times a week is plenty, especially if you're starting out or pivoting your brand message. So, why analyze your best post? It's because your top performing posts reveal what your audience cares most about. It could be your personal stories. It could be some industry insights. It might be how to, real, educational, entertaining. It helps you create more of what your audience already wants. Okay. The second reason you want to do this is you want to start optimizing what's already working. When you know what works, you can stop guessing and start delivering more high value content that people are going to want to see from you anyway. Maximum impact means maximum engagement. Last, when you're doing this, it helps you have strategic growth. Analyzing the successful posts will help you figure out how you can continue to grow your influence with the market that wants to hear from you. So here's some things you can start doing immediately on your LinkedIn. I want you to look at your LinkedIn analytics to see which posts receive the most engagements, likes, comments, shares, or views. Focus on what has the highest interaction weights. What you also want to look for is, what were you talking about there? Was it a how-to guide? Was it a video? Were there industry insights? Was it a meme? And then you'll see a screenshot similar. I've got a screenshot of my LinkedIn, but you'll see some analytics just like this. And then you can click inside your analytics to say, okay, let me see what's going on a little deeper in my account. So for example, this is a screenshot that I pulled. My top performing posts based on the last 7 days at the time of filming were these, right? And if you'll see, I got 35 likes, comments, etc., and then 29 comments. My second one, 22 hearts and likes and reposts, and then 11 comments. And then the third one, 20 impressions from it, and then 4 comments, right? But when I looked at all of these, and I'll show you my Chat GPT hack, it really came down to the hook. And that's what Chat GPT told me. No one cares about your story. That's a great hook. You're replaceable. Let that sink in. That's a great hook. You'll go broke trying to pay bills with vanity metrics. That's a great hook. The other thing that people commented on when I looked at these is they commented on my imagery. So they said, wow, Sybil, that's really powerful image you've got, or I love your background. Look carefully at what the comments are and then engage. Figure out why people love those posts. What was the hook? What was the tone and language? What style of post was it? Was it a video? Was it text image? Text only? Was it imagery? What was the call to action in the post that got people to commenting, liking, sharing, and reposting? I want you to go beyond the likes and shares. Really dig deep in the conversations. Did people ask you questions? Did they start sharing their own experiences? Did they give you feedback? Did they have a contrarian view to what you put in there? Did you remember to personally engage with those comments, right? Engaging when people engage on your posts will also boost your relationships and visibility. So like I said, here's a pro tip using ChatGPT. And what you want to do is you want to copy that post if it's high performing, put it inside ChatGPT, and then say, why did this post perform well? How can I replicate the success of this post that had the most engagement? And ChatGPT will say, here's your brand voice. Here's what you did. Here's why people liked it. And it'll actually help you brainstorm some new ways to approach your content. You can literally ask ChatGPT to assess 3 to 5 posts and say, hey, ChatGPT, based on this post, tell me what is the tone of my language? Give me 3 to 5 descriptions. You can ask ChatGPT, why did somebody enjoy this tone? What does it say about the personality type of the people that are in my audience? How can you make sure that I always do these? What 3 to 5 things should I always do? And ChatGPT will give you a landscape of what it also needs to be and also some things you should avoid. Okay, you'll uncover patterns and you'll start to see opportunities for you to start making some small tweaks that are going to make a huge difference. So some key questions to ask yourself is, what type of content does my audience respond to the most? What specific topics have gained the most traction? What elements contributed to the success of these posts? How can I make sure I replicate it? And then what was my clear call to action that happened in my best performing posts? Did it drive the intended outcome? So for your action step, I want you to go ahead and do it, okay? Take your top 3, again, 3 to 5 most successful posts and start dissecting them. Put it in ChatGPT, ask for some feedback, and then create a content plan that replicates that success. Whether it's creating more personal stories, more how-tos, more industry insights, carousels, whatever that is, do what the market is directing you to do. This is a mistake that I see a lot of female founders make is they'll get a really good momentum and then they stop doing what works. Don't do that. Do exactly what's working and then make it bigger. You've also probably noticed, if you've been posting for any length of time in LinkedIn, that maybe you started receiving emails or notifications that look similar to these, okay? Now, this is a screenshot of a post that came inside my mini feed, and I did not reply because I no longer talk about diversity rate related information. Had it been about brand innovation or service product innovation, I would have replied. But because this was very specific to diversity, and I no longer am known for that, anytime I see something like this pop in my mini feed, I don't reply. I wait for something more in alignment. If you interact with posts like this, LinkedIn is going to continue to send them to you because they think you're an expert in this area. And so I want you to exercise some caution. If you do, decide to comment because that's how they're going to decide what top voice badge to award you should you give enough valuable information over time. And again, I chose not to do this, but this is one of the tactics that I use to get my LinkedIn top brand strategy badge. One of these hacks is exactly this, right? These are called collaborative articles. Now, when LinkedIn rolled this out, it was more test and trial for some of the top voices, and so now it's broader. You can literally go to the collaborative articles section in LinkedIn and see which voice, which sections, which industries, which topics you feel most comfortable talking about. But I don't want you to do it yet. I want you to do your 14-day content challenge and then start doing the collaborative articles. It's step 3. I know I've been teasing the 14-day content challenge. Well, here it is. This is one of the exercises that I tell all of my clients to do, whether they are just starting out in their branding journey or if they're trying to pivot or if they're amplifying what already works. This is an ideal way to test your new content and see Is it working? Is it resonating? And does your audience follow the new you? So before you post, it is crucial to lay the groundwork to boost engagement and get your message in front of the right audience. And this is designed to help you do exactly that. You will start to strategically build relationships and increase visibility on LinkedIn because you follow this process. So like I said earlier, you definitely want to pre-post. You want to pre-engage with people on your mini feed. Okay? LinkedIn loves when we comment intentionally. And by actively engaging with your network prior to posting, you're creating a pathway for the algorithm to see that you're going to stay longer than the 5 seconds that it takes for you to hit post and that you have predictable human behavior. Okay? The algorithm favors those who participate in conversation, meaning your post, once you hit it, will get higher visibility. So here's what you need to do to engage pre-post. You want to do 30 minutes of meaningful interactions, either with industry leaders, ideal clients, or influencers in your field. You want to leave thoughtful comments. I know there's a lot of automation technology out there, but you're building an impeccable brand. I do not recommend automating the things that matter the most, and this is relationship building. Focus on providing valuable comments, okay? Don't just say great post or try to hit that word count in LinkedIn. Really think, is there something extra that this person's post missed? Can I add to what they say? Can I add them an insightful question to make them think differently about what they post? Is it a contrarian review that will spark a new level of conversation and engagement, okay? You want to be as thought-provoking as possible. Here's what happens after you post. You stay active for 10 to 15 minutes. Don't just jump off LinkedIn, fight the urge. Stay active, respond to comments on your posts, and then continue posting on some other people's posts. They are more likely to go to your page after you finish commenting on theirs to see what you're talking about. And guess what? You've just posted. So again, increased engagement in that first hour is key. Make it count. Why does this matter for your brand visibility? Because you want your post to have increased reach. LinkedIn's algorithm boosts posts that get quick engagement. And by interacting and commenting and have people then interact on your post, it's going to help it stay at the top of feeds longer. Okay? You're telling the algorithm that you're an active participant on the website, which leads to more visibility for you, your content, and your business. Second, it helps you build community that might not otherwise be in your network. Engaging makes you a better connector. It makes people more likely to return the favor and more likely to revisit and refer you when the time comes. It also helps position you as a thought leader. Thoughtful engagement on posts shows that you're not just broadcasting your services or spamming people, right? You are contributing to the overall success of your community, and people want to know that you care. There's not a better way to do this. So, some actions you need to start taking right away are before posting, spend about 30 minutes commenting on relevant posts in your feed, engage with 5 to 10 people in your network, and then after posting, stay for about 10 to 15 minutes. Now, if you're ready to take the 14-day content challenge, I want you to click the live link in the file here, and it's going to take you to the 14-day posting content challenge. And what does that look like? It is going to walk you through all of the different types of content that could be working for you and ways to think differently about how you're messaging your brand. It might be something you've never even tried before. Definitely check it out and let me know how it goes. Step 4 is implement the 741 process. Now, the 741 process is designed to keep your audience engaged, to make sure your content remains impactful. So LinkedIn, according to research, users stay on there for an average of 7 minutes. Your job is to make sure that they want all 7 of those minutes on your page. How do you do that? You've got to have attention-grabbing content. So if you want 7 minutes of engagement, your content should be designed to hold your audience attention for the longest possible. You need a minimum of 4 types of content. And again, if you're posting 3 or 4 times a week, you've got variety, and you want to continue to rotate through those 4 types of content, whatever you pick that's best for you and what the market is saying to you, and have one powerful message. Research also shows that 41% of LinkedIn users are millionaires. Okay? That's huge. 41% of LinkedIn users are millionaires. 39% of users post infrequently or not at all. Those are two separate audiences. So that means the more strategic you get, the more likely you are to be in the bucket that I know you want to be in. Okay? This is the unfair advantage and the competitive edge that I know you are looking for. Here are a list of examples of content types that you can start using and testing. And again, these are listed in the 14-day posting challenge. Text posts, right? These are short and punchy, easy to create, easy to produce, really high potential for engagement. The cons are they typically don't have a visual element. These are best for your thought-provoking quotes that could only be by you moments. You know, I call mine my Sybilisms. It might be similar, right? Your quotable quotes, your motivational messages, that sort of thing. Second are articles. These are really great, especially if you want to be positioned as a thought leader and or if you've contributed to an article. It's a great opportunity to highlight the work that you've done. Now, articles are typically long form, but it helps establish you because of your personal and direct experience, right? A lot more scientific, right? Process driven. It's shareable and it's evergreen if it's spectacularly written. Now, it does take more time for you to produce, but the people who read articles typically will read the entire thing, which means instead of spending 7 minutes on your profile, they might spend 10 or 15 because you've got such an engaging article. Third are polls. Now, there's some controversy on how frequently you should poll your audience. I highly recommend polling no more than 2 or 3 times a month and have it very specific to either a product launch or a new offering or a new thing you're trying. Get really specific, and then you can link it to an offer. Polls are also a great way to generate some really quick revenue because once you poll someone, and this is another hack that I love, it's worked for me, it's worked for my clients. When you poll somebody, you need to be prepared to give them a piece of content, right? A top of the funnel piece of material, a how-to, a tip, whatever that is for you, a tool, a takeaway, and then you can follow up with them. I've generated so much revenue, thousands of dollars off of polls because I sent somebody a follow-up thank you with a really valuable piece of content that they could do something with immediately. Fourth are videos. Now you can do short or long videos, right? You can do reel format, less than 90 seconds, or you can spend about 2 to 3 minutes. These have really high engagement because people want to stop to scroll, and videos are a great way to do that. Videos can be time consuming, so don't overwork it and don't overthink it, especially if your brand is known for being a little bit out of the box. Carousel posts are another great idea, and LinkedIn hack, you cannot do PNG files or GIF files, right? So when you do carousel posts on LinkedIn, you have to download them as PDF and make sure they are formatted in 1080 squares, all right? The great news though is once you create this carousel post for LinkedIn, that exact same size works perfectly for your Instagram. So you can literally post your carousels on both platforms at the same time without doing much lift. It's visually appealing. It gives people short, quick tips. And at the end of the carousel, you can leave a really strong call to action. Infographics are another great way for you to engage with your audience. They are highly shareable and they summarize something you do, right? Think about a workflow, a very specific problem that you solve quickly, and put that inside an infographic. It appeals to people who want some really quick tips or learning on the go. LinkedIn stories are another great way for you to engage with your audience. Now, again, these are short, they're disappearing, but they give really quick updates. And since they disappear in 24 hours, you might want to make sure there's something urgent for you to do. They are perfect for your behind the scenes content. If you're doing a new product launch or you've got something new coming or a stage you're about to stand on, it's a great way to create some intrigue. Another way to do that is also through a LinkedIn Live. Now, LinkedIn Lives are a perfect tool, especially for collaboration, and it gives you an opportunity to have a little bit longer. I highly recommend LinkedIn Lives be no longer than 15 or 20 minutes because we know that 70% of LinkedIn are people who are working. And so you don't want to take up too much of their workday. You still want to give them space to breathe, ask questions, but it's a great way to interact with people, especially if you do it beyond the LinkedIn audio, right? So you've got a choice, LinkedIn video or LinkedIn Live audio, and then decide how best you're going to interact and engage with your audience in real time. Live interaction is perfect. You can get audience feedback, you get to hear people's energy, and really answer the questions on the spot. Perfect for testing your expertise, even if audiences can be unpredictable from time to time. Regardless of the type of content that you choose, your job, your assignment is to figure out how to make sure they spend all 7 minutes on you. You want to be that memorable and you want to make sure you are unforgettable. You want people to have enough to digest and you want to make sure that they have something they can interact with. Okay? So, moral of the story is find 4 types of content. I went through 8 types just now. 4 types of content you enjoy creating and you don't mind, and what your market will enjoy from you. And then make sure you tie everything back to your one powerful message. Every single post should reinforce your brand's core message, whether you're sharing a poll, a video, or writing a quick thought. Step 5, it's time to make everything evergreen. So after fine-tuning your message, going through the 14-day content challenge, your next step is to make sure your content works for you a long time. I work with so many women who get overwhelmed because they think they've got to keep producing content. No, I want you to figure out how to repurpose your content. How can you turn that reel into an infographic or a one-sheet or a tool or a carousel? How can you turn that LinkedIn Live into a YouTube channel or a written post or an article or a newsletter? Really think about it. Every single time you say that thing, you have so many more opportunities to say it again in a different way that's going to connect to your audience differently and create those touch points of memory for you. Now, here's a common misconception. Most people would start this entire process by optimizing their LinkedIn profile. But do you see I've saved it for last? And here's why. If you're unsure about what your market needs from you or what they need from you next, the worst thing you can do is optimize your profile. Okay, you want to get really good at talking to your audience and then building your LinkedIn profile to optimize for what is already working so you reach more people who are ideal. Without understanding your message and strategy first, you'll optimize on incomplete and inaccurate data, and I don't want that for you. I want you to be effective and seamless and make this thing as quick as possible so you get the results that you desire for your brand and in your business. Your message is going to help you set the foundation. Your content is literally helping you test the market with real-time data. These insights are going to be key for how you optimize your profile because now you're crafting your profile around what people want and what they will respond to. Second, your content is going to show consistency. Once someone has decided to interact with you, the second thing they're going to do is they're going to look at your profile. And it would be really awkward if you've got content that says this one thing and then your profile says something different. So this is the perfect time for you to find alignment between everything you're posting and everything that's in that About Me or Services section, or even the recommendations that you're receiving. Engagement before optimization will also help you make sure you've got a clear understanding of what's generating the most success for you, because then you can feature it at the top of your profile. Isn't that a great way to get some extra eyes on what you do? This is the best way that I have found to keep your audience engaged and to help keeping from you getting overwhelmed. So here's some ways to make your LinkedIn content evergreen. Make sure you figure out what content has the most engagement. And again, we talked about that in step 1, as well as in your 14-day content challenge. Use those top performing posts as your benchmarks. See what people consistently post about or reshare about you. And then also check the tone of their comments. Okay. Number 2, optimize your LinkedIn profile. And again, we just talked about what that looks like. Use the language and tone that your audience is always familiar with and start making that a part of your me persona. Now, when women work with me, I talk a lot about the me persona because that is an extension of your brand. And it's a perfect way to make sure that every single time you show up in digital places and spaces, it aligns with everything you want to be known for. Add keywords that align your brand's core message and the terms your audience is likely to use to find people like you. Make sure that you've got cornerstone content and then make sure you're able to refresh and reshare. Update your older content, right? You don't have to necessarily reinvent the wheel, especially if it's something that's high performing and you posted it 6 months ago. You've got new followers. They've never seen it. They've not scrolled that far back. Feel free to repost it, reshare it, refresh it, or put a new spin on something that's already an idea that works for you. And then again, remember to pin that content if it's been successful. Last, you want to make sure to build a consistent posting strategy. 3 to 4 times a week is ideal, but again, you want quality over quantity. Aim for content that's going to align with what your brand is known for and tie it back to your clear message, your I am. Again, this process works on LinkedIn. However, the greater process and strategy comes when you adopt these practices into your overall messaging strategy. So in terms of next steps, this 5-step process is highly effective for optimizing your LinkedIn presence and building your personal brand on the platform. The real magic happens, however, when you put it overall into what I call message mastery. Okay? When you master your messaging strategy, you will be able to use all of these tools and then apply them across the board. But you have to be consistent, you have to be strategic, and you have to know what you want your legacy brand to be. So whether it's your website, your email marketing, sales copy, webinars, or speaking engagements, you want to have one cohesive and clear message. And this is a perfect way for you to go do that. When you adopt these principles across your entire messaging ecosystem, you ensure that your brand communicates a cohesive and impactful message time after time, every single place your audience is going to find you. So here's some things you can do to take a next step forward. Number one, like I said, curate that LinkedIn feed, delete the people unfollow who do not align with your new or future brand, analyze your top performing posts, engage with high quality contents, questions, and curiosity, use the 741 process, and make sure you make it evergreen. So you've audited your brand messaging, you figured out how to strengthen your brand on LinkedIn in 14 days. Here is what you need to do next. You've got to start optimizing your other platforms now. Just like on LinkedIn, make sure your messaging on other platforms, your other social medias, your website, etc., align with your core brand message. Keep the tone and style the same and consistent. Remember that Chat GPT hack? This is your time to do it. And of course, you've got to format that messaging depending on what that platform calls for. So for example, if it's Instagram, it's going to be reels and that sort of things, shorts. Build an omni-channel strategy. Think just beyond LinkedIn. What if your ideal clients are not on LinkedIn? What if your ideal clients are on a platform that they favorite even more? How are you going to make sure that message translates effectively? This is a part of long-term brand strategy. Okay? Develop your messaging playbook. Create a brand messaging guide that ensures everyone in your company is aligned. If it is just you, then make sure you're aligned with what it is you're saying. And this playbook should include your key messages, your tone of voice, brand values, and examples of how to write for different platforms consistently and with cohesion. You want to continue to evaluate and adjust depending on your highest skill set, as well as how your content is performing with your ideal market, and figure out, is it converting? Because ultimately, engagement is not enough. We want to make sure that we are starting to convert those clients. And lastly, continue to be consistent over time. Consistency will always win as your brand grows. Keep evolving, but ensure that your brand messages remains the same at the core of who you are and is reflective of what you want to be known for. Your goal is to build a lasting brand that stays relevant and memorable. Now, you can try and do all of this alone because, like I said, this process works. But I get it. It's also tough. How do I know this? It's because it took me about 2 years to figure it out, refine it, and get it to the place where I can even share it with you here today. Or you can take a faster option and decide that you want to work with me. And again, not every woman wants to partner. Some women want to maintain the control that is working on their brand. I get it. That's okay. I want you to continue to enjoy this resource. What I will say is this: when you work with me, you will achieve the results that you want to see in your business and for your brand faster than trying to piece it together on your own. You'll be able to audit your brand immediately, and you'll get some feedback on how to audit effectively over time. You'll be able to have my one-on-one assistance to help you craft your messaging to make sure it resonates with your audience. Because while ChatGPT is a great tool, it's not a human. And unfortunately, the software cannot read our labels. So we need that extra layer of accountability to make sure our message sings and that it says exactly what we want it to say. You'll also gain clarity and build authority without the guessing game. There's nothing worse than guessing what you should post next or toiling over a post that takes 3 hours to write when really it should take less than 30 minutes. Now, I want to be clear, this is not a coaching program. This is an exclusive experience where I partner directly with a select few women in business who desire to level up their brands and be bold about the impact that they want to make as they continue to serve. Okay. I always keep my spots limited because everything I do is high touch and carefully curated to make sure you get the exact support you need. So, if you're serious about making this brand transformation, I want you to send me a message. I want you to click that link that's at the top of the document or at the bottom of this document, and let's connect and figure out how we can help you grow a global brand. This is only for women who take action and not for women who say, oh, I think I'll do it later, or I'm getting ready to do something next. The only option we have in business to be successful is preparation, and this is how you do it. So ask yourself, what woman are you? Now, I know you probably got some questions, and I've got some answers for you, but in the interest of time, I'm going to let you read through the FAQ because it's going to talk about what exactly it means to be a bold woman who brands, who this is for, how it's different from every other program you've probably experienced, and how we can partner with you on your success. Till next time, I hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you on the other side.